Which are the principles you follow when developing a training?
So I have 3 principles. One is you need to know your audience and their expectations. Also then, what does your audience need to know? Which means don't try someone who is new to the field, turn this person into an expert within one day. That's usually impossible. And the third principle is to apply active learning.
So it may be difficult to meet your audience before the training, right?
Correct. You rarely do this, but your sponsor should be able to provide you sufficient background on the qualification, the experience, and the expectations of the participants.
Could you provide an example?
So when you take, for instance, life scientists, and they have some exposure to drug development or to marketing of medicinal products, and you should introduce those to pharmacovigilance, then it would be most boring to teach them regulations. However, pharmacovigilance is a highly regulated discipline. So what you try to do is to teach them concepts and principles and also introduce them to the application of these principles to their day-to-day deliverables. And we do this by using, of course, some sessions, some talks, alternately with some case studies, and then active coaching. We do this both in small groups as well as in the training plenary. And through this reiteration of the content, you achieve an enforcement of the take-home messages.
Could you please elaborate on the principle need to know?
Take as an example risk management plan. And of course, you can read 60 or 90 pages of the GVP module, which explains to you what you have to do for risk management. What people need to understand is what is the risk associated with your drug versus the risk as a complication of the disease to be treated. So that's the concept and the context we try to teach. For instance, a template of a risk management plan doesn't take too much room in a training. We deal with a table of contents and some sections and also some challenges. But for us, it's far more important that people understand the overall context and feel more comfortable, particularly about something which is risk, has a negative connotation everywhere in the public.
And how would you measure your success of the training?
So first of all, we have formal ways and informal ways of doing it. We have, particularly the interaction during the case studies, where the degree of participation is quite a good reflection. And then we have knowledge checks, which also gives us some feedback about how effective the training has been. And then we have anonymous formal assessments, evaluation of the training sessions at the end. Overall, we achieve by this some qualitative and some quantitative feedback. But as I said, for us, probably the intangibles are as important as the quantitative assessment, the excitement, the attention, the motivation of the trainees.